All right, let's get started with our guided practice. We have 4 problems. We are going to be multiplying by a 2-digit number. Let's make sure we remember these steps so that you can get a perfect on your independent practice in your exit ticket. Right now we have 13, and number 1, we have 13 times 21. I'm going to go ahead and put 21 on top because I like putting my larger numbers at the top. 21 times 13, making sure my digits are in the correct place. I'm going to go ahead and start in the ones place. This is just like me saying 21 times 3 ones and then 21 times 10. We're going to have 2 rows of numbers that we'll find the sum of. So I'm going to start in the ones place. 3 times 1 gives me 3. It continues to go in the ones place. Coming on over to the tens, 3 times 2 gives me 6. Very simple, very easy peasy. Now let's go ahead and remember this step. This is the step that I'm hoping you guys do not forget as you are writing on your paper. Don't forget, now that we are coming over into the tens place, we have to start writing our answer in the tens place. We cannot start here because that will get us an incorrect solution to the problem. We actually have to come over and make sure our digit is written in the tens place. So we got to remember that. So now I'm in the tens place. I'm going to come over and multiply 1 times this 1 in the ones place, which gives me 1, writing that in the tens place. 1 times 2 gives me 2. That is now written in the hundreds place. Remembering that we find the sum of both of these numbers. We can put our placeholder 0 there. Remember, we're finding the sum. We're adding 63 plus 210. And I'm going to go ahead and add it. 3 plus 0 is 3. 6 plus 1 is 7. 0 plus 2 is 2. You're probably wondering, where did she get that 0 from? Why did she say 0? Well, there's nothing there. So if I needed to have something there, or if I wanted to say something plus, I just went ahead and said 0. 273 is our answer. 273 is the product of 13 times 21. Let's move it on over to number 2. We got 81 times 13. Putting my 81 at the top. 13, making sure I'm writing my symbols correctly. This is 81 times 13. Starting in the ones place. I'm going to start with my ones, these 3 ones. 3 times 1 gives me 3. 3 times 8 gives me 24. I'm going to go ahead and write 24. There's no regrouping necessary because there is no digit for me to multiply in the hundreds place. Coming on over to my tens place now. Don't forget, I need to start in the tens place. I can go ahead and throw that 0 placeholder right there so that I know to start in the tens place. Multiplying 1 times 1 gives me 1. 1 times 8 gives me 8. I am going to add both of these numbers. I'm adding 243 plus 810. 3 plus 0 gives me 3. 4 plus 1 gives me 5. 2 plus 8 gives me 10. I can go ahead and write that 10 because there's no other number for me to add, so I don't need to regroup. I almost forgot my comma. Don't forget to add that comma to separate those thousands and hundreds. If you need to go ahead and do that little trick that I learned when I was a kid, I always just come in, count in 3 from the ones place, 1, 2, 3, and add your comma. Going to number 3. Getting a little harder. We have a 3-digit number here. But don't worry, just make sure your handwriting is neat. Making sure you leave a little space in there so that you're not jumbling up your numbers. When I have a 3-digit number, I do want to make sure I write this 12 in the correct place. I have 2 ones and 1 10, so it should go in the correct place. These 2 ones should go in the in the ones place. And this 110 should go in the tens place. We don't have anything on that second row in the hundreds place. So there's 204 times 12. Let's get started. I want to first start multiplying the ones. So I want to first multiply 204 by these 2 ones. Starting 2 times 4 gives me 8. 2 times 0 gives me 0. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 204 times 2 is 408. Now that we're starting in this tens place, I am going to put my placeholder 0 there. I'm going to start in the tens place, and that answer, that digit will be written in the tens place. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 0 is 0. Moving on and making sure I'm writing the digits right under the next digit, the digit up top. 1 times 2 is 2. Adding both these numbers. So 204 times 10 gives me 2040. Adding both of these numbers, 408 plus 2040. 8 plus 0 gives me 8. 0 plus 4 gives me 4. 4 plus 0 gives me 4. 0 plus 2 gives me 2. I just bring that 2 right on down. Adding my comma there. 1, 2, 3, comma. Or I know that my comma separates the hundreds and the thousands. Circling my answer, that is the product of 204 times 12. All right, last one for guided practice. Remember, if you need to if you need to pause, go ahead and pause the video. If you need to slow it down, rewind it because you got a little tripped up on that 204 times 12, do what is best for you so that you are learning what's necessary to get you into that 5th grade chair, knowing exactly how to multiply by a 2-digit number. You don't want to be sitting in class confused or on the steps. What do I do here? What did I do? Because you didn't do it now. So do it now. Put the work in now so you know it when you get to 5th grade. Because those teachers are going to expect you to know how to multiply by a 2-digit number. So don't cheat yourself. All right, I got 51 times 27. Starting in my ones place. 7 times 1 gives me 7. 7 times 5 gives me 35. I'm going to go ahead and write 35 because there's no other digit for me to multiply by, so I do not need to regroup. Coming on over to the tens place. Remember, my tens place, now that my answer has to start in the tens place, I'm going to go ahead and put that 0 there as a placeholder. 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 5 gives me 10. I can go ahead and write that 10. There's no other digit for me to multiply by. I know that I need to add these two numbers, 357 plus 1020 to get my answer. 7 plus 0 is 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. 3 plus 0 is 3. And then bringing down that 1, adding my comma. I'm going 1, 2, 3 over comma. I know that my comma comes between my hundreds and my thousands. That is the product, 1,377. That is the product of 51 times 27. If you have a question, if you're getting stuck on some of the steps, you're getting a little confused as to why we put this placeholder 0 right here, call me, text me, let me know, because I don't want you sitting at home confused. And I don't want you guessing on your work because I want you to master multiplying by a 2-digit number.